Well, good afternoon, everyone. We are going to talk momentarily regarding in-service non-hardship withdrawals and the sales opportunity around that, and kind of some of the ins and outs to help you maximize, if you will, the opportunities when you're talking to your clients, especially clients that may be in that 59 and a half range. And maybe you've moved on from employment, or even if they're at their same current employer, maybe explore the opportunity around in-service non-hardship withdrawals. Our presenter today, as usual, from our on our top producer focus, sales focus, 2020 sales focus, is Dave Pimper. Dave is the coach. He is the president of Lazarus Coaching. He has a great team, but he does all of the coaching. And he is going to spend some time telling us a little bit about this opportunity, lest you think that Dave is not currently.
Can you hear me?
I can. I was just
Good,
getting ready.
good. Sorry. Again, you know what? I'm not the best at technology, Steve. You know that.
Oh, you're like a minute. You're maybe a minute late, and I'm guessing probably started in about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I hear you.
I was just going to let them know that the sales insights that you offer come from personal experience. You're a regular producer yourself, 40 plus years in production, 520 plus seminars in your background, 30 or so years of radio, and thousands and thousands of ounces of ink on applications over that time, or more recently, as it takes more ink to complete an application than ever before.
Yeah, it does. You're right.
So I think let's get right into the opportunity and the basics of in-service non-hardship withdrawals, and the way that you have been able to help some of your clients and offer some insights on how they can help their clients and potential clients when they are looking to maybe make a little move with at least a portion of their qualified funds on some of their corporate accounts.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, this 2020 sales focus is just that. This is around production. Those are only going to be 20 minutes long, but they're going to be great. I mean, the next one, Steve, and we should be doing it next week, hopefully. But that's with Roth conversions, and then we're going to back it with some sales process coaching, and those are like 20-minute coaching sessions, so it doesn't take a lot of your day. But I want to have you come away with, my gosh, this was good information, and maybe it's something I can start using in my practice. So my name is Dave Pimper. I have been in the business for going to be 41 years in July, 550 workshops. And it sounds like a lot, but that's over almost 40 years of work. So it ends up about 25 workshops a year. My last one I did was Social Security. We got 14 appointments there. I actually have, with my son, we've got one with Medicare Made Easy, and that's coming up here actually in 3 weeks. And then I've got another Social Security right behind it again. So, my goal is to stay in front of a lot of people. So what in the heck is in-service non-hardship withdrawal plans? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, it's a way to garner great retirement rollover business. I mean, it's just and a lot of advisors don't use the in-service provisions, in their favor. So when you say in-service, that means what? It means you're working for the firm, non-hardship, so it's not disability or death or financial hardship, and you're going to withdraw money. So let's go in and kind of take a closer dissect of what that really is, okay? Now, Steve, I wonder if I can go back here. There we go. Okay. So here's the definition. So I'm just going to just summarize this. Did you ever see? It seems like everybody on PowerPoint slides, are so happy. Here's what happens is that if you're 59 and a half of age or older, you have a company plan like a 403B, a 401k, a 457 government deferred comp, thrift savings plan with the government. I mean, any of those, if it has a in-service non-hardship, it means you can be 59 and a half years or older. You can take money out of your company retirement plan and roll it on over into an individual retirement account. Well, we come into play there because that's what we do. We roll over IRAs. I've been working ever since after 1987's crash on October the 19th of 1987. Steve, here's a trivia question. How much did the stock market go down? What percentage points did it go down in that one day?
That one day, I'm going to say 28%.
Yeah, you're close. Good for you. 23%. Can you imagine that happening now? 23%. It would go down 7,000 points in a day. And that's what happened. And I just thought, hey, I want to work with people that are closer to retirement age. And of course, that's who really has the most money. And that 401k rollover, it's usually the largest asset they have, bigger than their house, bigger than their second home, bigger than that motor home. We're seeing, I just got one in today, Steve. This one happened to come from Retirement Boss Radio from down in Lincoln. Unbelievably, Steve knows this, but I grew up in Fremont, Nebraska, a little town 25 miles outside of Omaha. Yeah, he heard me on radio and he knew me. He graduated 2 years after I did. And so, here we are, and it's $1 million plan. So what happens is, and one of those will be in service, one of those will not. She has already been retired. But at 15.5, you can take money out, roll it into the IRA, so you can put it in that fixed index annuity, that wealth management account. And they can still continue to work there, still continue to get the matching. Yeah, it's just a really beautiful thing. So let's talk a little bit more about that. So remember, you got to be 59.5. Big company retirement plans. The bigger the plan is, the more money it has, the better chance it is for in-service non-hardship provisions. You want to transfer it or roll it over from the 401k. You want to do it directly. You don't want it indirect, like a check made out. If you do that, government will withhold 20%. Even if you put it back in within 60 days, they're still going to take out 20%. Lots of times your loans have to be paid. Sometimes they don't. Why does somebody want to do that? Well, in our business, what kind of great guarantees are there in 401k plans? None. Might be a money market account, might be a stable income fund that's averaged 1.6% over the last 10 years. That has a stable principal, but can they compete with fixed? Like Steve, and because that's the industry you're in, but we're just starting to see carriers, come out with right at 4%, on fixed rates. And if they're doing that with a fixed rate, just think what you're doing with the fixed index with a much higher cap rate,
Yep.
So there's we just talked about it yesterday. What an absolute great time to be in the guarantee business, to be in the protection business, because you don't think those people that have 600,000 in their 401k that's seen it do nothing but go up in the last 10, 12 years, and all of a sudden, there's 600,000 right today. As of yesterday's close, the stock market's down 13.5%, and the bond market index is down 11. In 41 years, it's the first time I've seen corrective markets at the same time for stocks and bonds. Normally, when stocks are going down, bonds hold their own or even make money. Not now. Now with rising interest rates, and that's where the fixed guaranteed products. And I'm not trying to push that. I'm just saying, people want a portion of their money, in that type of investment. There's just many more options that we have, and that's pretty cool when it comes to in-service plans. So why do companies even offer those guys? Why do they do it? Well, they want to be competitive within the marketplace. So if you got a senior exec and he's 50 years old, has $3 million in his 401k, he's not tied up when he turns 59 towards retirement. Also takes away a lot of liability from the company. Let's say a company gets sued because they don't have very many good investment options, and that forced them to stay in the growth option. They lost a ton of money. All they got to say is, hey, we have an in-service non-hardship withdrawal. You could have took all of your money, but you elected not to. But you never hear that from the company. You really don't. Now, when I find out and I go through my sales process with the folks, I used to call the HR person with the company, and it was like pulling teeth to get information out of them. So now you find the custodian of that 401k. The big boys are Fidelity, Vanguard, Mass Mutual, Principal Group, American Funds. Those are a Schwab, which was TD Ameritrade, now it's Schwab. Those are all the big boys. You just call the customer service rep and you ask them, does that plan have in-service rules or in-service non-hardship withdrawal rules or 59.5 rule? And they'll tell you right there. They have it in the document, in the kind of blueprint of that plan. It's very, very simple. So what happens is probably 14 out of 15 people don't even know this is available after they turn 59.5. Okay? I work with tons of partials. They got 700,000 in there. Maybe they just want 150 or 200,000 in a guaranteed option. Have I worked with all of it? Yeah, I normally keep 5,000-10,000 just to keep even though you wouldn't have to, but keep the wheels rolling and greased. But we work with a lot of partials, and we always have. You're able to give them options, especially like with income riders. I mean, Steve, the government came out and are allowing some types of annuities, but I'm not, and I know that they're going to start doing some kind of annuities that have lifetime income, but have you seen any actual ones that have done that yet?
I haven't, like an annuity within a 401k plan?
Yep.
No,
I have not. There really hasn't been, has there?
No, I think it's going to take a different basic kind of design to do that. So
I do too. I agree. I think that's what's taking them so long, but it could be years. So, having that lifetime income, if that's a big deal to the client, you know what? They can't get that from the 401k. Can they get it from us? Yeah, we're in that business.
Yep.
It just makes the portfolio better. I mean, it just has such great end results for the client. So those are direct rollovers. I mean, the check's not made out to them; it's made out to the custodian. Okay, it goes from custodian to custodian. Now, Fidelity, they're noted for virtually all of their checks goes out to the client, but it's made out to the custodian. That's still considered an IRA direct rollover. They can't cash it. They can't endorse it. Made out to the custodian, whoever that custodian is. A lot of people want to consolidate when they get older. RMDs, right now, they went up from 70.5 to 72. Don't forget, there is RMDs if it's traditional, not Roth. There's not, but traditional. But starting January 1 of next year, I'm sure the Secure Act 2.0 is going to get passed. The first one was done in 2000. This one is coming in, and they're raising RMD ages again. Actually, 1/1 of 23. If you're born that or later, it'll be age 73. And then over 9 more years, it's going to go to 75. That got passed by legislation through the House, like 414 to 7. And in today's age of partisanship politically, that is saying something. And it does have the best interest. That isn't all the rules out coming out of government, but it does have the best interest. Controlling your money. People want to have control of the money. So let me just say this. In-service non-hardship withdrawals, if you just ask them, hey, you're 60.5, do you know that you may have availability to take your money out, a portion of it, even all of it, to get some better options? And if you ask them, would we like to find out if that option that option is available for you? That doesn't mean they're going to do it. And then you call. And I would say out of 10 calls that I make, 6 or 7 have in-service non-hardship withdrawals. Most bigger plans will. So I'm a big marketing guy. I'm a producer, but I certainly have coached with IAMs. I mean, it's been 16 of my 17 years I've coached with them. And I'm proprietary. I don't coach with anybody else. They're good at what they do, but my whole goal is to increase your production. I want your paycheck to go up. And the way you do that is by finding new business, like maybe in-service non-hardship withdrawals. So, and you know what? There might be one more slide, Steve, eh? Ah, yeah.
Got it.
There's a lot to think about. Are you going to throw up a
Yeah, we'll offer.
poll slide or not?
Yeah.
Want to do
Folks
that?
want to get a little bit more
Yeah,
information.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, and this is real low key. Everybody that's on the line with me today, all the producers. I mean, about 25% of my business each day is spent around the coaching end, coaching different people, coaching, just different people within the insurance agency marketing preview. But if you'd like to talk to me, Steve's going to put up a polling question that yes, you'd like to talk, or no. But if you mark yes, then Brady Pelzer will give you a call, get you on my calendar, and let's just talk about in-service plans, or talk about seminar marketing. I just got 14 appointments, or talk about Retirement Boss Radio. I just got 4 appointments this last week. 4 appointments from one weekend of radio. Yeah, Steve, well, he's probably working on it now. Steve's way. There it is. Was there any questions at all, Steve, or anything? We'll keep that up for a couple minutes. I know we're getting, we got about 5 minutes left. Is there any questions or comment we should be bringing up right now, do you think?
Yeah, there are a few. Hold on just a second.
Okay, all right.
Poll gave me a little trouble here today.
Your poll challenge, huh?
Yes, indeed. So Mike asks if most plans offer non-hardship withdrawals. What's your experience been there?
Yes, and the bigger the plan, I mean, if it's Boeing or Delta or one of the big boys, Microsoft, GE, almost all of those plans will. You get to mid-size, the majority will, and if you get to small, they may not. But I would say 7 out of 10 of the plans that I talk to do offer in-service non-hardship withdrawals. It might even be 8. More and more percentage, Steve, are offering that now, different than it was 10, 12, 15 years ago.
You bet. And you may have talked about this, and maybe this question got asked before, but Thorson wants to know if all of the money is usually available in a hardship withdrawal. Does that vary by provider? And I guess by provider maybe means company or maybe means administrator.
It can be, yeah, it can be. The company is the one who makes the decisions, but believe me, the administrator or the custodian of that account, they give them direction, on what to do and why to do it. I would say that the majority of the ones that I work with now do, the majority. But do I run across some that still don't? Yes. And some bigger plans that don't? Yes, there are. But the majority of the companies do offer this. And as we keep on going year after year after year, it seems like there's more and more and more percentage of their service. Now, the second part of that question, let me do that, because the other part of that question was, yes, what I find is that all of it is available.
Usually
but have
100%.
I found it before? Usually 100%. I would say 80, 90% of the time. But the other 10 or 20, sometimes it's just your money that you put in, not the company match money and the growth. I've had it before. If you have a loan, normally that loan has to be paid off. Most people don't have loans against their 401k. That used to be more prevalent. It isn't as prevalent now. I have had it where it has to be the vested dollars. So if you've only been with the company for 4 years and there's a 5-year vesting, only 80% of the money can you get to. I've also had it, the U.S. Post Office, if you take out all the money, then they have to wait 6 months to get back in the plan. So of course we're not going to take all the money. We're going to leave 10 grand or 5 grand in there. But most places you can take it all. Even if you can take it all, I've never took every red cent from a 401k. I've always left 5 or 10,000 just to have that statement keep coming and have that money there. That's what I've always done.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Do they withhold taxes from the withdrawals?
No. So what happens is those withdrawals are they're IRA rollovers. I mean, you're transferring it to the IRA. Now, if a check is made out to you and you could do that, then the government's going to withhold 20% for federal income tax. They believe you're not going to pay, so they're going to take it out while they have control of it. But those are called indirect rollovers. And I mean, I've done one in the last 5 years because I was forced to from a bank. The bank wouldn't do a direct rollover. So everyone does direct rollovers into IRAs now. That's what it is.
Okay. So do clients usually know who to call, or do they call their HR department, or do they call someone else from their statement?
Clients know, they know nothing. They don't know. They know what show that was from?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Sergeant Schultz. Yeah. I know nothing. No, they don't. They truly don't have a clue. And most of them don't. I mean, once in a while, someone will say, "Well, I know something's up because the guy I work with, the guy I weld with, right next to me, yeah, he took out with another broker like $100,000." I mean, sometimes I'll hear that, but the easiest thing is just call Fidelity. Call the custodian. Have them bring their statement in, and I just call from the statement. And it's extremely simple. In the old days, 15, 20, 25 years ago, you'd call the custodian. They would try to conserve the business. It just doesn't happen these days. It's like they're happy that it's going out. There were some laws because they were pressing and selling, and they can't give advice over the phone. So anyway, it's the customer service people can't. So it's very easy. And I normally go through everything with them. So we can do this, yes. If this available, yes. Is available, yes. How long does it take? Yeah, it's just very simple to call that custodian and get that rollover. And a lot of times it can be initiated without paperwork and on the phone, which is pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
If you're still working and are at the age when you're required to take RMDs, do they have to take the RMD before you can withdraw funds?
Well, here's the beautiful thing about this is, in that 401k, if you're not working for the company, then RMDs could come into play, but then it wouldn't be an in-service plan because, of course, you could take the whole entire amount on just a rollover. But if you're working for the company, in company retirement plans, you don't have to take RMDs out until you leave the company. So, you know what? If Warren Buffett is participating in a 401k and he's 91 years of age, he's had no RMDs, because that's different than IRAs, which you have to take out. You're forced to. 401ks and company retirement plans, if you are still working there full time, you are not in any way forced to take an RMD. A lot of people don't know that, but that's how that works.
Yeah, I guess I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So as long as you're working, no RMD required.
Yep, as long as you're working there. Normally it's full time, 30 hours or more. Normally, but if you're not many people are still working at age 72. 72. But if they are, they do not have to take money out of a 401k for RMDs.
RMDs, okay.
And Steve, and most people do know the Roth component of it in a 401k, just off the cuff a little bit. But matching dollars cannot go to a Roth ever. It has to go to the traditional. That's another one of the 2.0 or 2.0 Secure Act 2.0. That's another thing. They're going to allow matching on Roths, which is only fair. To do.
Yep.
So what happens is that, remember, RMDs with any traditional IRA, 401k, et cetera, it's forced upon you unless your 401k is still working there at a late age. But Roths, there are no required minimum distributions on that Roth account. So that's just kind of cool to know that. Yeah.
Yep. So do you do much work with like law enforcement, fire department, first responders? Next question, and I can't see who had it, but it is, I think, kind of a question / statement that for some of those types of professions, can funds be rolled over at age 50 and over? Is it
55?
55.
It's 55. Yeah, and by the way, I don't work much within that retirement place. But Steve, I know that it has been quite successful. Don't you have? Is there a lead generation program that you've got?
Yes. Yep.
I mean,
Couple.
and it's been quite successful. So, you know what? I mean, those people don't know what to do either, and they can actually access their money earlier, as early as age 55. So, if you've got questions about that, I don't have that answer, but I know that IAMS does.
You betcha. Yeah, yeah, that's a lead service that works with public employees, and so we do run across a lot of policemen, a lot of firemen.
Yep.
I
Firemen.
guess that question has never come up for me regarding the ability to take money out prior to age 59 and a half. So that's good for me to know
Yep.
as well.
Yep. 55. Yep. Yep. Uh huh.
There are other questions here, Dave. I'm just trying to weed through them here really
Okay.
quick, and we've kind of
Yeah.
got a little long.
Before we close, if there's any other questions, we're gonna button this up in a couple 3 minutes. Hey, thank you everybody. We had a good crowd today, and again, we're not trying to make those long. We're trying to make those insightful. We're trying to make those 2020 focus, production oriented, and I'll tell you right now, people who take things and put them into action, those are the ones who are the most successful. So you can be on a webinar like this, take some good information away, but if you just store it in your head and you don't put it in action, there's no more production. What I want people is to say that from a good idea from Dave Pimper and Insurance Agency Marketing Services, it's helping our production. That's what we'd love to see.
You betcha. Yeah, we'd love to help you. I think we've generally answered most of those questions. There may be another one or two that I've missed. If there is, don't hesitate to put yes on that poll, and we'll arrange a call for you with Dave. With these calls, we're arranging this with Lazarus Coaching, but they're with Dave. So you'll be chatting with him when you call. So he'll be well familiar with what we've talked about here today, and certainly be able to answer any questions that you have, and probably give you a couple of tips. So appreciate your time, by the way, here this afternoon as well, Dave. I know you've got a pretty full docket of appointments right now from radio and seminars.
This was a wild day. This was just a wild day. But you know what? Being in front of people is the name of the game. You know, in the old days, you remember that, Steve? We called it belly to belly. Well, it isn't quite like that at the kitchen table. But when you're meeting with people face to face, things happen. And our goal is to get advisors in enough appointments, and then having kind of tricks of the trade, like in service, finding more dollars, really helping that client. Yeah, it's a win-win-win all the way around.
Gotcha. Absolutely. And I do think we've cleaned everything up here that I can see. So I want to thank you all for joining us. We've gone a little bit over as just answering questions here. We will have our next one. I think the next one coming up is next Thursday. And I think we are talking about Roth conversions, but watch your email. Yeah. You'll certainly be able to tune into that as well. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Thank you for being part of the IAMS team. We certainly appreciate that. And Dave, thank you for being such a valuable member of the IAMS team as well, and committing your time
Absolutely.
to help your fellow producers. It means a lot to us. And if we can help you in any way, don't hesitate to give us a call. We probably don't have the number on here enough, but our number here is 800-255-5055. You can call and you're going to get an answer within a couple rings. It might be me answering the phone. It could be, the phone will get answered and you'll be able to get the answer that you need one way or another, hopefully fairly quickly. So we appreciate your business. We're going to work hard to earn it every day, and whether it's sales training or just helping you get your business through the pipeline, that's what we're here for. So thanks for the opportunity. We certainly appreciate it, and have a great finish to your afternoon.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good one. Bye-bye.